This video is to provide you some information on how to make your classroom rock. Every teacher wants to have an effective classroom, so we're going to concentrate on how you can make it effective by having an awesome bulletin board. Learning environments must be envisioned in both a physical space and a cognitive space. The physical space of the classroom is managed as the teacher prepares the classroom for students. Is the space warm and inviting? Does the room arrangement match the teacher's philosophy of learning? Do the students have access to necessary materials? Are the distracting features of a room eliminated? Teachers must also consider the cognitive space necessary for a learning environment. This cognitive space is based upon the expectations teachers set for students in the classroom and the process of creating a motivational climate. In this video, we're going to talk about how a bulletin board can be a part of that learning environment. There are 10 top ideas for creating an engaging bulletin board. Beavis and Butthead here have them shown. The first idea would be to have it as a current news or an agricultural issues board. If you have a hot topic in the news that's discussed quite a bit in your classroom, post a newspaper article from the local paper on the board and surround it with brief op-ed pieces from your students written on large index cards. This is a fantastic opportunity to introduce that type of work as well as work in a critical thinking assignment. The second big idea would make it as the distribution center. Overwhelmed by all those school forms, fruit sale order forms, FFA sign event signups? Consider making a bulletin board, at least one of your bulletin boards, an information distribution center. Consider a title such as Command Center or Central Command. Include a sedate classroom calendar in the center and perhaps a news clipping or two regarding the school. Then attach some acrylic document holders for handouts, return documents with signatures, or a homework slot. This takes at least one bulletin board slot from a full-time chore and puts it firmly in the category of management tool, leaving you with a smooth-running classroom. You can even use some of the space for reinforcement charts and other low-cost student reward programs. Another idea is to celebrate with photos. Instead of animated cartoon-style drawings, consider photographs or color prints as your graphic illustrative element. Some examples could include travel and nature images for geography and science studies, volcano shots, Hubble images, mountain range photos, tribal action shots from remote villages, etc. Another great way to go is with action shots of your students themselves involved with various stages of the learning. Consider creating at least one special events bulletin board. This can be used to celebrate birthdays, an historical event, a sports team victory, or an SAE of the month or FFA member of the month. Another idea is trick my board out. Use design strategy. Lose the baby borders. Use shattering. Consider colors. There are so many options for you to use in a bulletin board to make it exciting, engaging, and making it look hip and cool. Give it some swag. Another idea is use graphic organizers to organize learning. Charts, graphs, diagrams, and tables are all professional ways to integrate curriculum into the bulletin board space in a way that will appeal to older students. Even yarn or twine pieces stretched from labeled push pins to tinier chart details still look streamlined and serious while providing extra organizational support for readers. Think period tables, KWL charts, etc. You get the idea. Variety is another big idea when creating an engaging bulletin board. Plan to change your bulletin boards at the very least once a month. Bulletin board displays lose their effectiveness if left standing for the entire school year. Create a simple bulletin board that you can change each week. Post a series of different puzzles, mini mysteries, word searches, or brain teasers each week for students to tackle during their free moments. Interaction integration. Make sure that you incorporate some sort of interaction with your bulletin board when creating it. Whenever possible, create interactive bulletin boards too. Provide flaps to lift, pockets to fill, Velcro pull-offs, puzzles to complete, or dials to spin. These bulletin boards directly involve students in a host of learning opportunities. Inserts, foldouts, and maps. All great ideas. Many traditional periodicals have freebies that come along with the monthly copies. Nat Geo, for instance, is known for their killer maps, and various news magazines have charts and fold-out center articles that make fantastic fodder for bulletin board themes. Bonus: professionally published materials always look more grown up than the basic kiddie charts. An interactive bulletin board is one where students have an opportunity to interact with manipulatives themselves. While it may seem like an easy thing to create, there are definite considerations that should be taken into account. The board should be at eye level, include color, be durable, and have clear directions about how to interact with it. It also should be accessible. An interactive bulletin board does students no good if they cannot reach it. When planning such a board, make sure that it is at their eye level and easily accessible for young hands. Since most bulletin board frames are at adults' eye level, you may need to paper the area below the normal bulletin board section to make it work. Make it colorful. Visual interest is the key to keeping children engaged in interactive bulletin boards. Plain, boring boards with little color or visual appeal will not hold students' interest. Even if the topic being covered is interesting, students will quickly become bored and uninterested. Take the time to add coordinated color and visual appeal to your bulletin board presentations. Durability. If students will be manipulating items on the bulletin board itself, i.e. matching pictures of a classmate to hobbies they enjoy, make sure that the material you use is sturdy enough to withstand a lot of handling. Laminate materials that students will be touching and use the strongest Velcro or adhesive that you have available. By creating the bulletin board with sturdy materials at the beginning, you will save yourself time having to repair it over the course of its display life. Instructions. Interactive bulletin boards should have clear, concise directions that are easy for your students to read and understand. If some of your students need extra help with reading, consider recording the directions and allowing students to play them back as needed. Ideally, an interactive bulletin board will be an independent workstation for students, so take their ability levels into consideration when planning activities and interaction requirements. Ownership. Provide lots of opportunities for students to design and assemble bulletin boards. Encourage them to post their work and celebrate their accomplishments. Great idea to give a board to a chapter officer team as part of the duties of the chapter FFA reporter. Number 9. Create functional space. Create extra bulletin boards by covering a wall of the classroom with butcher paper or newsprint. Students can write announcement, vocabulary words, or sayings on the paper. You can easily remove and replace the paper throughout the years. Create hanging bulletin boards by stringing a wire or heavy twine from corner to corner of your classroom. Put clothespins on the wire and hang student work, inspirational posters, decorations, or other items. And finally, own it. Make it yours. Let it show the uniqueness of you, your students, your program, and your community. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas, some tips, and some creative ways of thinking about how to do a bulletin board and make it effective. Don't forget, if you have questions, come see us.